Now that's not dead centre, but if you just put your foot on the accelerator, see how it's off centre. So the trick now is to centre it. This is called centering. So you need to get your hands wet. Water is your friend.
Oh, hang on, I've got to keep it going.
You've got to keep it going. And when you get to that speed,
Yeah.
try to maintain that speed. None of this taking your foot off, putting your
How
foot
fast
on.
is that right speed?
That's perfect, that is. If you slow it down, accelerate harder. And then just what you're trying to do is push the clay into the middle of the wheel. Can you see how your hands are buffeting around? Try and keep the speed up, accelerate a bit harder. There you go. And the idea is that you bring it to a rest. You bring your hands up. Take your time with it.
You keep wetting it.
Then bring it up to the top a little bit. Now I want you to bring your hands over the top and push back down again. Both hands.
Yeah, enough.
Let's have a look. Pretty close. You want to get that down to the bottom.
Oh.
So you just end up with a dome of clay, proper centred.
Gosh, you've got your muscles.
Let's have a feel.
Oh, it's a bit rickety.
Yeah, you want to, let's have a feel. So bring it in around the base. And you know how your hands are buffeting around?
Yeah.
Can you see how they're smooth now? They're running through.
You've got to really put your foot.
Yeah, you've got to tell it what to do. Don't take any prisoners. Right, so we've got it centred. You've actually coned it as well, even though you want to open up the whole thing. That's good. That's good. That's good. It's working well. Right, maintain that speed. Okay, and bring both your hands out. So now you've got your depth. You've got your width. Now we're going to get the height. So can you see it's a little bit off centre?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that because I'm going to show you how to remedy that a little bit later on. So where you're sitting, you want to be working in a 3 and 6 o'clock position to get the height.
Okay.
I'm standing here, so my 3 and 6 o'clock position is there. So I'm going to put my hands on the inside. This is my support.
Yeah.
And then this is going to do all the work. So I'm going to bring the clay up from the bottom.
Okay.
See how slowly I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
But I'm bringing both hands up together. I'm not putting hardly any pressure on this. Nice and gently, no drama. Take your time with it. Let the clay pass through your hands at least once before you move up a notch. Otherwise you'll end up with a corkscrew. So nice and gently, start at the bottom and bring it up. Can you see how it's getting taller? Nice and gentle.
Okay. So that way there.
Yeah.
And there.
Yeah, right at the very bottom, start right down at the bottom. It's almost like your fingers are touching but through the clay. And then nice and gently.
This is very going to go wrong. I can feel it go wrong.
Okay, can you see how you're flaring out?
Yeah, come on, I'm meant to.
Try and keep it. Your aim is to get a straight sided cylinder. But you can do that quite easily. If you bring your hands over it, then you can actually bring your hands up and you can realign it nice and gentle though.
Make it look so easy.
Right at the very bottom, use all that plate. Nice and gently, take your time. No drama. So you're coming out again, so push in with your outside hand and okay, take your hands out. A little bit off centre, so let me just re-centre that. At the top of the pot bends out and the rim is where it bends back in again.
Oh, okay.
So you use your thumb as your template on the outside, just push the clay. This one's fixed, my right hand is fixed and my left hand's doing all the work.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. So what I'd like you to do now is with your other hand, put your thumb in there and then just lift that up to get a bit of a shoulder.
Thumb there?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
And then just slowly fold it over. do you? So you now you've got a shoulder
Yeah.
and a rim.
Yeah.
Now with this tool, the wire loop turning tool, this is for removing material. Just bring your speed down just a little bit. Okay. So with this, again, like the needle, in direction of rotation, hold it against the wheel and just bring it in and it'll start to shave off
Excess.
the clay that you don't want, just drop it in the sun. And then you just keep going back until you're happy with it. You can go straight sided if you want. But what you're doing is you're just trying to get rid of some of this material in, just to trim the bottom before we remove it. Okay? Nice and gently, no drama,
And
take your
it doesn't
time.
matter which way it faces. No.
No, it just gives you a different profile. You use the round end or... If you take your foot off the accelerator altogether and let it stop, and then you just move your tool away.
And then you can say, no,
Can
it's
you
not,
see?
not too
Can you
bad.
see how it's rougher
Oh,
there
yeah.
than it is there?
Yeah.
So now you've done that, you can
Yeah.
put that tool down. And the last thing you need to do, you can do it either with a wet sponge or just your hands. Keep it soaking wet. Put your foot down on the accelerator again.
I'm just going
Go
over
a
it.
bit faster. A bit faster. That's probably that perfect. And then using the wet sponge, you can just blend out that rough surface, and you can even give the whole thing a bit of a wipe inside and out. So start at the bottom, and what you're doing is you're blending that rough bit that you've just turned into the nice smooth bit that you've turned with your hands. Okay, so we're a little bit off centre, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring your speed down just a little. So that's perfect. I'm going to show you how to trim. I'll trim it and then you can trim it after.
Okay.
So the idea of trimming is make sure that the needle is pointing in the direction of rotation, not
Okay.
against it. You bring it up to the side of the top, you're going to pass the needle through and you're going to catch it on the other end.
Okay.
And then when you feel the needle, you can lift it off in one
Oh,
piece.
okay. Made that look very
Right,
easy.
so next thing you need to do is make that shape. Bring your finger and your thumb onto it, just square it away. And now you're recentered again and everything's hunky-dory. If you get a pool of water collect, just get your sponge and mop it out. If it fills up too much with water, that spins at a different rate and can throw you out of centre.
Okay.
So what I like you to do though, same again, but this time when you get to this point, push out from the inside to level it up. And then when you get above that, we can start to bring it in a little bit. So you're aiming for a straight sided cylinder. And at the moment, it's kind of going in the middle and it's coming out again.
Okay. So I need to get rid of some spot.
Well, you need to kind of start in the centre. You can do it all on one hand, and just where you've got that kind of thing, that just push out with your finger a little bit and level it up. That's good.
Oh, I've got my nail caught in it. No, no.
It's all right.
It's going to go. One
Yeah,
nail's
slow down,
catching.
slow, okay.
One nail's catching on
Right,
it.
let's just smooth that out.
Yeah, you definitely don't need nails.
I think we've salvaged it. Now, I'm going to ask you to trim it,
Okay.
and then we'll put a shoulder and a rim, and then we'll
Pointing that
remove
way.
it. So it's got to be pointed that way. All you're doing really is
Okay.
so you're pivoting it through the clay. But when you have your finger on the other side, when you meet up with it, if you come down about there.
Okay.
Just hold that for me. Okay. Nice and slowly. Well, that's done it. One way. not too shoddy. Now,
Thanks.
this is the crunch time now.
Oh, I've got to get it off.
You've got to take it off. So
Do I have to wash
remember
my
when
hands
we put the clay on the wheel and
Yeah.
it was dry.
Yeah.
It's still dry under there, so we've got to break that seal. So
Okay,
this fella
yeah.
does that.
Cheese slice
So you pull it tight onto the wheel, and then you've got to drag it
towards me.
towards you, keeping it tight that
Okay.
way and keeping it pressed down onto the
Okay.
wheel as well.
Oh!
Yeah, behind the wheel.
Oh.
That's all right. We can salvage that.
Oh, I need. God, it's sharp.
Perfect. Now do that again. This time you're going to be dragging this water under it, and that's what's going to break.
I meant to like hold the wooden bits.
Your,
Feel like
I tend to wrap them around the wooden bit. That's it. That's how I do it. Oh, go on, pull it towards you nice and gently, no drama.
Yeah,
Okay.
trashed it at the end.
You've done better than me.
Well, we've got to get it off, yeah.
Oh.
Right, so now we're there. Let's just see if we've got any movement. Yes, we have. So what you need to do is splay your hands like that and just slide it onto my tile.
Doesn't that just distort it?
A little bit.
I'm giving a sponge.
So all these little dings, we'll fettle those when it's dried. It's easier to do when it's dry than when it's wet. So all you need to do now is use your turning tool just to clear off the wheel head. So put your foot on the accelerator and put that.
Just
Yeah,
as I
just
did
keep-
before?
yeah, and then just put it in the middle
Oh, okay.
and then draw it out towards you and
Ah.
just clear the muck off and drop it into the solid. When you've got most of the solid off, you can wash it off with a wet sponge and then you're good to go again if you want to.
I think you should go, Steve. It's really satisfying. You want to go?